We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Marcus Pasanje, and Savita Wirima, our sign language interpreter tonight. Our top stories. President Zagwedeza articulates his administration's commitment to addressing shortages of houses in the country as government embarks on a project to construct 250,000 houses. Malawi signs 2 agreements to receive 160 billion kwacha from EU for electricity infrastructure overhaul. And the Ministry of Education strategizes on improving teaching and learning conditions in public schools through synergies. President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera says his administration has started a new project to construct 250,000 houses as one way of addressing shortage of houses in the country. Dr. Zagwedeza was speaking in Lilongwe during the launch of a 2-day National Housing Symposium organized to discuss ways of introducing low-cost but resilient housing units in both rural and urban areas. The Malawi leader also appealed to Malawians to be guided by his development initiatives and not concentrate on more politicking. Isaac Jali has a report.
The National Housing Symposium is an initiative by the Ministry of Lands in collaboration with Habitat for Humanity, Catholic Relief Services, among many, aimed at addressing pressing issues of sustainable and affordable housing in the country. Among other things, through the symposium, government and other partners want to help foster community-driven housing solutions that promote inclusivity, affordability, and reliance, ensuring that Malawians are constructing houses that can withstand natural disasters such as floods. Launching the symposium, President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera said his administration acknowledges the shortage of houses that Malawi is currently facing and said his administration has employed several interventions to address the challenge. Dr. Chakwera cited construction of 10,000 houses for security agencies as a starting point, which will soon be followed by the initiative to construct 250,000 houses in the next 10 years with support from various partners. The Malawi leader observed that although the previous administration introduced the cement and Malata subsidy program, the program failed to make any meaningful impact as most of the houses can no longer be traced today. Dr. Zagwedeza, however, acknowledged efforts of former President Dr. Joyce Banda through her Mudzi Transformation Project, under which some communities were provided with houses during her 2-year rule. The Malawi leader assured Malawians that while some people are busy politicking, he remains committed to saving Malawians so that after his service in 2030, Malawians can look back and appreciate his efforts. During the function, Ministry of Lands demonstrated low-cost housing designs that will be made available to Malawians for free to ensure that by 2063, Malawi should have modern villages. The recently recruited land clerks will enforce adoption of the new designs to ensure that people, more especially in the rural areas, should build houses that can withstand natural disasters. Earlier, President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera performed a groundbreaking ceremony for a new Malawi Housing Corporation office complex behind Parliament and near the War Memorial Tower, where Jordan Chipatala, Chief Executive Officer for Malawi Housing Corporation, told the President that to help reduce housing shortage, Malawi Housing Corporation will construct at least 25,000 housing units annually for the next 10 years using internally generated revenue, loans, grants, and partnerships. The National Housing Symposium comes at a time when a report by Habitat for Humanity says over half of the 4.8 million housing units in Malawi are substandard. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
The Vice President, Dr. Michael Usi, has urged vendors to be disciplined when getting loans from NIF and comply to pay back its loans. Dr. Usi made the remarks in Blantyre when he visited vendors at Ndirande Market. Mercy Zamawa with the details.
There was excitement at Nderande markets in Blantyre when Vice President Dr. Michael Usi visited vendors. Dr. Usi interacted with the vendors, listening to their concerns, including difficulties in accessing loans. He discussed ways to improve their livelihoods, emphasizing the government's commitment to supporting small businesses and entrepreneurs. Dr. Usi also encouraged vendors to take advantage of the National Economic Empowerment Fund NEF loans and other government initiatives to grow their businesses.
I have no time. I have no time. I have time in the office of the president to fight poverty.
Furthermore, Dr. Usi said that his focus is on serving Malawi by fighting poverty and also ensuring that citizens have access to resources they need to thrive.
People should be disciplined because we are going to give, as government, loans from NEF, and that we should keep discipline. We are one people. We don't need to fight amongst ourselves as a people. And this loan is going to everybody, regardless of their tribe, party affiliation, or religious affiliation.
The Vice President's visit is part of government's efforts to engage with citizens, foster economic development, and improve the welfare of Malawians. Marise Zamawa, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Ministry of Finance has signed 2 agreements that will see Malawi getting 85 million euros, approximately 160 billion kwacha, towards the country's electricity infrastructure refurbishment. The funding will help Eskom replace its aging wooden electricity poles to steel electricity poles from Koma Power Substation in Lilongwe to the northern region. EU Ambassador to Malawi, Rune Skinback, expressed optimism that upgrading the electricity infrastructure will help create a sustainable source of power for agriculture, tourism and mining. Our reporter, Trust Offici, has the details.
The 93 million euros comes in to boost productivity and job creation through the upgrade of a 293-kilometer eastern power backbone from Koma Power Substation to the northern region. EU Ambassador to Malawi, Rune Skinback, says the EU is coming in to address problems of access to finance, access to power, as well as access to relevant skills. Skinback hopes that a sustainable source of power will help create an enabling environment for economic growth.
In order to increase the productivity of Malawi, because this is what we need, productivity in the agriculture, productivity in the tourism and productivity in the mining sectors, we need electricity, not only to be produced, but also to be distributed so it can be accessible. Minister of Finance Simplex Cholabanda has since commended the EU for showing confidence in the Chakwera-led administration. Cholabanda says Malawi is now on the right path towards the attainment of the Malawi 2063.
This is in line with Malawi 2063 vision or agenda, but also the MIP1, which is the 10-year implementation plan. We believe that this one is anchoring well with the famous ATM strategy, because power will actually power agriculture, will power tourism, will also power the mining.
The 93 million euros consists of an 85 million euros for the electricity infrastructure, as well as 8 million euros for civil society organizations working to boost job creation. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
2 mining companies that have signed mining agreements with government, Lotus Resources Limited and Lancaster Exploration, says they are ready to start mining immediately because they realize the huge potential that mining has towards transforming the country economically. Lotus Resources Limited will revamp the Kairekera uranium mine, which closed in 2014, while Lancaster Exploration will be mining rare earths at Songwe Hill in Palombe. From Lilongwe, Patrick Dambula reports.
The signing of the agreements is a product of almost 2 years of negotiations between the involved parties. They also represent the culmination of extensive negotiations facilitated by the Presidential Delivery Unit over the past 2 weeks. This probably is a bold statement by the government of Malawi that it means serious business to grow the economy of the country, create wealth and jobs through agriculture, tourism and mining, otherwise known as the ATM strategy. Managing Director of Lotus Resources Limited, Keith Boyce, says they are ready to revamp Kairekera uranium mine, which closed down around 2014. But the first step will be to refurbish the facility.
So one of the important things that we're able to start or be able to accelerate once we've signed the mine development agreement is around the financing of the project. And the other part of it is we're able to go out now to our potential customers and actually to start signing contracts with our potential customers who will buy the product from us.
President of Lacansta Exploration, Alexander Lemon, which has signed an 18-year agreement, says this is a game changer because the mining industry has huge potential in Malawi to create jobs and bring economic transformation. Lemon says, having signed the agreement, they are ready to take the project to the next step.
The next stage for the rare earth project in Palombe is to complete the front-end engineering, which is the first phase of the future construction of the mining operation. For us to be working in Malawi, and particularly under the government's ATM initiative, agriculture, tourism and mining, we're incredibly excited to be moving forward with this project and having at last got the mining development agreement agreed and signed by both parties.
When operational, Lotus is expected to create 450 direct employment and 200 indirect jobs. The anticipated revenue is $1.6 million per year in dividends and $20 million in royalties annually. As for Zomwe project, it will create over 1,200 jobs during the 2-year construction period and then 500 jobs per annum during the 18-year mine life and 10,000 indirect jobs. The anticipated revenue is $120.6 million per annum in form of royalties, dividends and other taxes. Patrick Dambula, MPC News, Lilongwe.
The second regional stakeholders workshop on sustainable forest management has opened in Blantyre with a call for countries in the SADC region to unite in countering dilapidation of ecosystems. Speaking when he opened the workshop, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Climate Change, Yusuf Nkungula, said the workshop augurs well with its national and international development agenda. Kumbukani Piri reports.
Forestry and environment specialists from the SADC region will this week be banging heads in Blantyre, specifically to discuss how best to sustainably manage forests and livelihoods. Speaking at the opening of the workshop, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Climate Change, Yusuf Nkungula, said the workshop was crucial for Malawi as it aligns with other existing interventions that Malawi is carrying out to address issues of deforestation and environmental degradation.
This program is very significant to Malawi because it provides an opportunity for our local farmers, our communities, to get access to most important livelihood opportunities because the program is looking at how best can we manage our forests and also provide some types of livelihoods for them to manage issues to do with energy and also landscape restoration. For Malawi, we're implementing, I think, big programs. One of them is the National Forest Landscape Restoration Program, which we're also aiming at restoring about 4.5 million hectares of land through afforestation and, of course, management of the already existing forests in Malawi.
The Sustainable Forest Management Impact Program on Dryland Sustainable Landscapes, DSLIP program, is funded by the Global Environment Facility, GEF, and is led by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Shijun Shen is FAO country representative for Malawi and it stresses on the importance of the project.
We are confident because the concept of the project is trying to reach a kind of co-benefit between ecosystem conservation, livelihood improvement, and sustainable development. Everybody knows that it's important to conserve the local environment and ecosystem. But the only thing is that when there's conflict between the economic development, livelihood improvement, and natural resource management, how this could be addressed and resolved. So this project is trying to promote good practices to address the conflicts between the different objectives and to capture synergies among the different elements. So we think this is most needed in Malawi.
And taking his turn, SADC Forestry Program Officer Sunny Water Mokwati noted that over 50% of the GDP in SADC member states is earned from agriculture, mining and forestry, and most rural communities are highly dependent on natural resources for their livelihoods.
The SADC focuses mainly on regional integration, and this project is one of the multinational projects that actually promotes regional integration. So it's in line with the mandate of the region. So we have a multi-year strategy that speaks of regional integration, and issues of natural resources is one of the pillars of the strategy.
The workshop has drawn participation of 11 countries who are participating in the 5-year Sustainable Forest Management Program. Kumbukani Piri, NBC News, Blantyre.
Remember, you're watching NBC News with me, Marcus Pasanje, and my sign language interpreter, Savita Wirima. You can access all NBC digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. A reminder of our top stories. President Zagwedeza articulates his administration's commitment to addressing shortages of houses in the country as government embarks on a project to construct 250,000 houses. Malawi signs 2 agreements to receive 160 billion kwacha from EU for electricity infrastructure overhaul. And the Ministry of Education strategizes on improving teaching and learning conditions in public schools through synergies.
Today, we are privileged that the head of state is coming to inspect this project, which is a council chamber and the finance offices. This project is being co-financed by Malawi government and the government of Iceland. This project comprises a chamber where we shall be holding our meetings with the councillors, but also comprises offices for the finance section. You know that under decentralization, all offices must be under one roof in order to improve coordination. So before this structure, we have offices scattered all over, and thus makes coordination very, very difficult. So once this block is completed, it will improve coordination.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education says it is collaborating with different stakeholders to improve teaching and learning conditions in public schools across the country. Public Relations Officer for the Ministry, Mphatso Nkuonera, made the remarks when commenting on what the ministry is doing to address challenges facing Pwechi and other rural-based schools in the country. Lauren Nguluwe has compiled a report read in our studios by Jackson Sijali.
Trofina Pili is a Sunday 6 learner at Pwechi Primary School who walks a distance of 5 kilometers every day from Gundumlani village to access education at the school. She gets up early in the morning to be in time for lessons. However, she often finds herself late for classes due to the long distance she covers. As a result, she misses some lessons.
When I'm late for class, I miss the lesson for the day.
Concurring with Trofina, member of the school committee, Agnes Manda, says many girls at the school walk long distances to access education, and most of them drop out of school in the process. She adds that coupled with poverty, most girls in the area opt for marriage after reaching grades 6 or 7.
It's true that other girls get married before finishing school because they lack necessary learning material to continue their education.
Deputy head teacher at the school, Festus Ngoma, said the school registers a large number of learners in Standard 1 and 2, but due to the long distances, a few of them complete the primary education.
The distance affects the learning because some learners, they do come late instead of them coming early and attending classes in time. Yeah, so we find that these young lads, the newly registered ones, like the standard ones, they cannot manage to walk that long distance. Yeah.
Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Education, Mpaso Mkonera, says government, in collaboration with other stakeholders, is currently implementing a number of programs to improve education standards, particularly in rural areas, such as Pwechi in Nkhani district.
The government, through the Ministry of Education, is very committed to see to it that we improve the system through a construction of additional classrooms. Meanwhile, you are aware the government launched the construction of 10,900 classrooms at Kore Nideta just this year. Most of those buildings, 7,000 of them, will be done by December 2024, and the rest will be concluded by December 2025. So that means we want to provide good learning space for our learners in the country.
At present, the school has 267 registered learners. Last year, the school produced a 67% pass rate.
And in sports, lightweight boxer Hanok Piri has knocked out Tanzanian Samuel Mputi in an untitled bout that took place in Lilongwe. Piri threw hard punches from the first minute of the fight that made Mputi surrender before end of the second round. He, however, called for more sponsors for Malawian boxers to become more successful in their career.
Yeah, indeed, this is part of revenge, because I went all away from here, Malawi, myself to Germany. So I lost in Germany by points. So I said I promised to the country and to my supporters and to all the boxing lovers that soon I'll have a fight in Lilongwe and I'll win that fight because I lose in Germany. So I fulfill the promises that I promised to Malawians, to my fans, to everyone who is a boxing lovers. That's what I did today. Yeah, I'm ready, and it's my will that to have a manager and sponsors, everyone who need to help during our preparations for the fights, because soon I have also a fight, and also my wish I need to have a manager. So everyone who is ready to manage me is welcome here to my world of BDF, Brand Defense Force, Hard Knock team.
And that item wraps up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Zagwedeza articulates his administration's commitment to addressing shortages of houses in the country as government embarks on a project to construct 250,000 houses. Malawi signs 2 agreements to receive 160 billion kwacha from EU for electricity infrastructure overhaul. And the Ministry of Education strategizes on improving teaching and learning conditions in public schools through synergies. For more on these and other stories, follow our online platforms Facebook, X, and our website mbc.mw. You can access all MBC digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. I am Marcus Basanje, and Savita Wirima was our sign language interpreter tonight. Thanks for watching and have a great night.
Good evening, and you're all welcome to today's weather update. We've issued a severe